So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So, in our previous lecture, we talked about brain cancer, and also it was a very good example that was shared in the group with nice analysis, right, about another cancer patient by Suchitra ji in the group today. And it's a nice case study to give inputs and try and understand. So well done. So before I give you another beautiful topic today, but I want if anyone can quickly revise what did they learn in the brain cancer, medical session that we've done. Who would like to, quickly revise beside acharyas, not the acharyas, but anyone, uh, you know, not in the acharyas, but can quickly explain what was the learning in the brain cancer class that we did. Anyone who wants to do it quickly, who could volunteer, and because it is very important to be in the sync, it is very important to be with me, when we are doing it. Anyone who want to explain what we said, anyone, Vishal ji, Utkarsh, Dr. Divashiri, anyone who would want to, uh, quickly revise what we did in our previous class. याद नहीं है? Okay, because you all were there. So my internet is unstable. कोई बात नहीं. That's Mercury and Rahu problem. Anyone who wants to say that anything, or maybe Suchitra ji, you revise. Okay, let's not waste time. We'll move ahead quickly. So Suchitra, why don't you tell what did we learn in the previous lecture?
Hare Krishna Guruji, Hare Krishna everyone. In the last class, we study about the cancer. The main karma which you explain is the uh, angerness and the some kind
Jealousy.
of yes and yes that in the previous karma we did some karma respective to this. That's how we suffer with the cancer.
Yeah.
And Guruji, the cancer, the main karaka which we people used to hear is Rahu, but you gave us a very beautiful example like Jupiter. Jupiter is a expansion. Jupiter expands the cell and helps to expand the cells of the cancer, and it can also give the the negative when Jupiter will become a functional malefic in the chart. This will become very if when जब आप हमेशा कहते हैं ना गुरुजी, जब जुपिटर और वीनस दो बचाने वाले प्लैनेट ही आपके फंक्शनल मेलेफिक हो जाएंगे, देन हु विल सेव अस,
Thank
है ना?
you. Yeah.
And then the next planet is Mercury, because Mercury is represent the endocrine nervous system, and also the Mercury is the planet which is represent Vata, Pitta, Kapha, three doshas. And the
Right.
next the Saturn, because Saturn always give us the chronic disease, है ना? This and Mars can give us the surgery, the multiplications of the cells as well. And Rahu is pure radiation. Rahu is the poison of the body, and Rahu is also the catalyst. If Rahu is with Jupiter, it will behave like a Jupiter. That's how Rahu is the blast. Rahu blast करता है. And then Guruji, you gave some pointers of the cancers as well, like Saturn Mars conjunction, the Yam Yoga. And
Yeah.
if this Yam Yoga is aspected by some functional malefic, like Jupiter is the functional malefic, maybe Venus is the functional malefic, that will definitely trigger this yoga, or Rahu is aspecting this. And the main point is the dasha, which mahadasha we are running, which antardasha we are running. Like the Antardasha of Rahu, the Pratyanta Dasha, the Antar and Mahadasha of Rahu and Saturn, ये बहुत ध्यान देने वाली. We have to look after these dashas very carefully.
Yeah.
And when there is a malefic conjunction, and this malefic conjunction, it is aspected by Saturn, or it is aspected by any malefic planet, that can also trigger. And the conjunction of moon with moon and Venus with Saturn, maybe with Rahu, that can also trigger the cancer. And basically, Guruji, when I saw many charts of cancer, I found that may Rahu is always there. Ki Rahu Antardasha, Rahu Pratyantar, maybe Rahu is always there in the picture, maybe in the transit. And the 64th Navamsha, which is a very critical point of the Kundali, that events, when like maybe when some critical transit happen from the 64th Navamsha, that transit can trigger the disease and the problem. And the next, which is a very important thing, the Kal Sarpa dosha or the Kal Amrit dosha, which we studied in the last chart of that girl, ki Kundali is locked or the open in this dosha. And Guruji, one point we discussed very clearly, ki in medical astrology we should always use true notes, not the mean notes of Rahu and Ketu.
Right.
That's I remember, Guruji.
Yeah, that's very nice, very nice. Did a good job. Okay, so we did some, cases. I showed you some chart also of a little girl. And also, I would want that you should put more charts. If you have, any data bank of brain cancer, I can also share some, date of births with you, which I'll be sharing, so that you can make those charts and try and understand the dashas and, try to predict when, this particular disease can trigger in life. So, today we are going to cover a topic known as epilepsy. Okay. And how many of you know what is epilepsy? Anyone who wants to explain, or if he has any vague idea about what is epilepsy? Anyone who wants to explain that, please? Anyone who has any idea what is epilepsy? No idea what is epilepsy?
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Guruji, my aunt has suffered from epilepsy, and when she was suffering from epilepsy, it means brain is not getting the connection, and her body used to get very straight, मतलब बहुत कड़क हो जाती थी बॉडी उस टाइम उनकी, and मुंह नहीं खोलते थे, and she was lost somewhere. I mean, she was a dead state. We can say that.
Right.
So and somehow treatment used to be given, and then she used to recollect herself.
Yes.
Yes, Caesars. Yes, correct.
Pujaji, you were saying something, you raised your hand. If you want to say something, you want to explain what is epilepsy?
Hi, Guruji. Yes. Basically, it's like a loss of control over your nervous system. And it's almost like it becomes a frozen state.
Yeah.
And then that's where the seizures come in. And that's kind of what I know. Something to do with like your nervous system.
Absolutely. Did you see what did Dr. Devashiri write? She says that it's seizures, of course, caused by improper electrical signals in the brain. And you know what? I'll go a little further into this because when we were taught, what is the difference between a seizure and epilepsy? There's a difference between a seizure and epilepsy as well. You must understand. Okay, seizures can be epilepsy, but a seizure may not be epilepsy. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is that you suppose you got once, maybe you got a seizure. There are many reasons to get seizures. For an example, when someone goes into hypoglycemia, right? मान लो किसी की शुगर लो हो गई, right? Sugar raised to 40, 30, 25, 20 milligram per deciliter, or maybe 15, right? Then what will happen is the patient will go unconscious, He doesn't know what is happening. His brain senses will be gone because there's no oxygen, no energy in the brain. And then what we do is we give them, Rosatics. Maybe Rosatics, that it's kind of a sugar which is there. So हम उसको inject कर देते हैं, red sugar. And the patient, the sugar will start increasing. It will go to 40, 50, 80, 100, 120, 140 is like, when you go from hypoglycemia to a normal state, even then the seizure will come. Okay? Whenever body is recovering from a shock, body can go in a seizure. It's a very simple thing. So if you see someone had a seizure because of XYZ reason, you cannot call that patient as a patient of epilepsy. Let me be very clear with you. You should know this thing. Right? अगर किसी को seizure आ गया तो you are not saying कि he has epilepsy. When you have multiple sessions of seizures, maybe अभी आया फिर अगले हफ्ते आ रहा है या दिन में 4 सीजर आ रहे हैं, दिन में 2 सीजर आ रहे हैं, every week a seizure is coming, or consecutive 5-7 days seizure is coming, right? And then there is a gap, then again seizure is coming. So it becomes like a regular process, right? And you know what? What is the maximum number of seizures someone can see in epilepsy? Could be 500 seizures a day. 500 seizures a day. And the reason for epilepsy is that the electric signals are not less, but they are more when the seizure is there. So electric signals can go 500 times more in the brain, right, than the normal signal. So you see, like our full entire body is about current. Okay, there's a current in the body. There's a signal which is traveling in the brain, in the body. So at times I have seen 500 times more signal in the brain can cause a seizure to happen. And that is epilepsy. You will be astonished to know the reason of epilepsy. You will be astonished. Based on our research, based on our, Jyotisha, Ayurveda, it is written that the major cause of epilepsy is, which is researched and diagnosed, is your food habits. You will not even believe. So if you have that nature of eating at 12 in the night, a full heavy meal, 12 baje, or all these foods, synthetic foods which are available right now. Have you seen, people consuming these, what do you call, Red Bull, high caffeine drinks, right? Red Bull is there, and there are many other high caffeine drinks that you will see the name, which is basically used to, give you lot of dopamine secretion in the brain, and which is there to give you that high. Immediately people going to the gym, they are consuming coffee shots, right? 2, 3, 4 coffee shots they are taking. They are also taking, pre-workouts. So having these pre-workouts, unwanted food that you consume, right? Synthetic food that you're consuming, even sugar, especially it is, researched in America that children who are having synthetic sugar or very high sugar, like, in India, we have certain mithais which do not have very high sugar. I must tell you, laddu doesn't have a very high sugar, jalebi doesn't have a very high sugar. But if you go into a, these American sweet dishes, okay, the sugar content along with maida is so high that can give you real high. Okay. For an example, all those pastries that you see and all those candies that you see, which are there in US, and especially these cold drinks, Coke, Coca-Cola, if you are giving this to the children, okay, of a very young age, there are strong chances. I will be teaching you there is a kind of epilepsy which is there in very young children, in infants also. छोटे छोटे बच्चों को सीजर्स आते हैं, 2 महीने 3 महीने 4 महीने का बच्चा है, उसको सीजर आ रहा है. And very high fever can also give you a seizure to a small child. So if you're having 106, 105, continuous fever is there, infection is there, it can give a seizure to a child. Right? But as Dr. Devashri said, that it's the problem with the mind. So a lot of stress, weak mind can also lead to this, electronic disorder, you can call it. Okay, what do you call it? Electronic disorder. That the current in the mind is gone haywire, right? And is it as fatal that it can cause death? To an extent, 99% no, 1% yes, right? For an example, you see that actress who just died abhi piche, I don't know, some Jariwala or something, that Kanta Laga girl, she was famous with that song, right? She was a patient of epilepsy also, if you read her case history. And because of which, yeah, Shifali, because of which people are taking a lot of medicines, right? Technically, I would say the best medicine available is Ayurveda. Dr. Devashri, you want to say something? Because I researched on Ayurveda, I researched on allopathy, but I believe if you want to put someone on medicine for epilepsy, it should be pure Ayurveda. Dr. Devashri, you want to say something on this, please? Let me allow you to, if your internet, yeah, you can say something on it, Dr. Devashri, if you can.
I'll just try, Guruji, because my internet is very unstable today. I'll just try. Am I audible? Yeah. Sir, epilepsy is I can tell you it is a lifelong disorder. It is called as a palliative disorder. That is, you can manage that disease, but you can't completely cure it. So that is what is called as epilepsy. And this epilepsy, we have two states of this disease, or two stages of this disease. One stage is called as, it is a seizure free state. That is, like, people who are having epilepsy can lead a normal life like us. And there is a stage where they get the seizure. So one is a seizure phase and the other is the seizure free phase. So when there is a seizure phase, it is good they go for some allopathic medicines to control that seizure phase. But when it is a seizure-free phase, it is good for a prolonged duration because they have to be on medication lifelong. It is good to go with Ayurvedic medicines. So this is what is the gist of it.
See, you see, what she's trying to say here is that when you have a seizure, definitely we don't have a medicine in Ayurveda to control that seizure at a given time, right? Because Ayurveda, homeopathy, they work on the roots of a disease, trying to, balance it. But once the seizure has occurred, patient is in the seizure, then definitely, just like diabetes, like type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes. So these are like lifelong. It is very difficult to reverse diabetes, especially type 2. People say it is reversible with lifestyle. With the lifestyle also, if once, the insulin resistance have started in your life, right? You can manage it, but it will not be reversed. I'm telling you, people come up, said we did exercise, we lost weight, we did this, we that, now my sugar is in control. But it is only in control until you are exercising and you have diet in control. The day you have your 5 6 laddus, right, and you don't go for a workout for 2 days, that controlled diabetes of 10 years will come back within a day, because your body is basically insulin resistant. तो वो उसमें प्रॉब्लम में आएगा ही आएगा. Now, epilepsy, what I have seen is that people have got miraculous results with meditation, right? People have got miraculous results with Ayurveda. There are certain herbs and medicines, they work to maintain the current of the body, right? On the same time, great results have been seen by consuming ashwagandha also, right? I have seen people, recommending, prescribing ashwagandha, right? It is written. I've seen many of my cases, histories where ashwagandha has given great results, right? But again, let us first write down 12, 13, 14 points, astrological combinations, which shows that it is going to be a lifelong disease, obviously, and in which dashas, in which antra dashas, this will be triggered, right? So suppose, how patient will come to you, let me explain. Suppose someone is a patient of epilepsy. He will say, Guruji, I got, seizures for 1 week in the month of January. I am taking medicine. Since January, I have not got any seizure. He will tell you like this, right? So it is August now, it is September now. So, Guruji, I fear when it can come back. Do you think it will come back again? Which dasha, which antardasha, which month, which year do you think is complicated for me? I will take care of it. Because see, if you are traveling and if you are on the airport, you get that seizure on the airport, it's very difficult and embarrassing. That situation. And you have to be very patient with the person who is having that seizure, right? Very patient. So there are videos on the YouTube to you must watch how to handle a person who is in the seizure. This is a special training which is given to the doctors also. Here किसी को दौरा पड़ गया, there's a seizure which is happening, what to do at a given time. Rather than you start putting water and this and that, and that's wrong things to do. So you have to be patient. It has a time, it has a circle. There's a circle of a seizure. So you must watch that video. But the question that will come to you, the expectations there will be there from an astrologer, is that when it can trigger again, when it can come. So you have to see transits, Mahadasha, Antardashas, and some combinations, which I am going to give you the list. And since Shilpa ji said that she had a relative who was suffering epilepsy, I would humbly suggest if she can put her chart, right? Maybe she can get some birth information, put a chart in the group to discuss, right? I will also be sharing the data with you people for people who had epilepsy and had these problems. But I want that if you have real life cases, people who are suffering around you having that epilepsy thing, definitely put it in the group. So you can start noting down the points, the astrological combinations that we are going to have. So I'm going to share my, whiteboard. Uh, it's not getting shared. Let me see what is happening. Okay, she faced it during pregnancy period. Okay, let me see whiteboard. Okay, I hope you can see the whiteboard now, right? Okay, everyone can see it. Okay, great. Now we will write down certain, points for epilepsy. And someone was saying it is a Vata issue, but epilepsy may be accounted as a three dosha also. We can count it, we should count, epilepsy as a three dosha. Okay. Epilepsy. So I would suggest you to take it as a three dosha. Okay. It is just not the Vata, it is a three dosha. Okay. ये three दोष है. And the reasons the root cause. And trust me, if you have these combinations, now another way, when you get a horoscope and in that horoscope you see these combinations, as a remedy, as a guidance, what you are going to tell a person is that you need to stop overeating. Overeating. You know what overeating can cause three dosha? Obviously. देखो थ्री दोष है ना, तो ओवर ईटिंग और ईटिंग इन द ऑड आवर्स. What is odd hour? Having breakfast at 12 p.m. and then having lunch at 5 p.m. and having dinner at 12 or 11 in the night and then sleeping. Odd hour dinners, overeating. Also, over dieting. These, celebrities, you will find this problem in lot of celebrities. Why? Because they are dieting. They are not consuming the food properly. So this is called as, deficient food habits. Food deficiency. Deficient food. This can cause the problem. And now let's write down the points. Number 1 point. Lord of Lagna or Lord of Ascendant. Okay? Lord of Ascendant gone into 6th, 8th or 12th house and closely associated with Rahu. Mars is the current in the body. Mars and Saturn. So if your Lagna Lord goes to the 6, 8, 7 and it is associated with Mars and Saturn, or with Rahu, Mars and Saturn, or with Rahu conjunct by Mars, or with Rahu and Mars conjunct by Saturn, such combinations of the Lagna Lord, and especially in the Dasha and the Antra Dasha of Mangal. Mangal is very, very dangerous. The main Karaka for epilepsy is Mars. Because Mars, afflicted Mars, Mars Rahu, Mars Ketu, Mars Saturn, or Lagna Lord with afflicted Mars can give you epilepsy. Mars is the current in the body. And Mangal Shani, Rahu is the catalyst. Rahu is the catalyst. Rahu is the main cause. On the same time, number 2, if Jupiter is aspected, मतलब जुपिटर पे दृष्टि है. Jupiter is aspected by Lord of 6, 8 or the 12th house. And Jupiter is in 6, 8 and 12. What does that mean? Jupiter is sitting in 6, 8 and 12 aspected by 6th or 8th Lord or 12th Lord, or all three of them. At times all three of them. Jupiter sitting in the 8th house aspected by 6th Lord, aspected by the 8th lord and aspected by the 12th. If minimum 2 of them are aspecting, it is very dangerous. Minimum 2 if they aspect, very, very bad. Third combination is when Saturn is in the Lagna. Saturn in the Lagna, in the first house, with Rahu, making a Shrapit Yoga with Rahu or Moon and Moon. So शनि, राहु और चंद्रमा तीनों एक साथ इकट्ठे हैं, ये दो कॉम्बिनेशन में इकट्ठे हैं. With the lord of 6, 8 and 12. Also with the lord of 6, 8 and 12. So शनि लगन में है राहु और चंद्रमा के साथ, और उसके साथ छठे, 8वें या 12वें भाव का स्वामी बैठा हुआ है. Okay, this will also cause epilepsy, especially in the Mahadasha of Rahu. Okay, and the Antra of Rahu. Rahu Mahadasha, Mangal Antra. Mangal Mahadasha, Rahu Antra. Caesar is basically Rahu. The dysfunctioning of the current is Mars. Affliction of the Mars will cause problem, will give you those huge amount of current. Epilepsy can cause strange sensations, emotions. Even I have seen, as she was telling, that she was not opening the mouth. This is known as muscle spasms. Jakad lena, akad jana ekdam. Right? So these are the major causes, and also loss of consciousness, obviously. See, what happens is there are neurons, electrons and protons. So neurons are the signals in the nervous system. Rekha ji saying my daughter had seizure once this year and one maybe 3 years back. I see her Lagna Lord in the 6th house. Dekh lo. That's the first condition. Lagna Lord will go in the 6th house, will make your Lagna weak. And then if you have some aspect of Rahu, Saturn or Mars, it is a problematic situation. And their antras can cause a lot of problem. You must discuss the antara she was going, the Mahadasha that she was going through. Very important. There will be a lot of case studies that we'll be discussing. The fourth point, like Saturn in the Lagna, Moon in the Lagna. Moon in the Lagna, like Dr. Divyashri wrote, it is a mind problem. So mind problem will come when Moon is in the Lagna in Kali Yuga. Conjunct with Rahu and aspected by Saturn. And Mars. Mars and Saturn, और भी आ सकता है. Mars or Saturn or Lord of 6th house. Lord of 6th house. 6th house and 12th house are very, very important in epilepsy. Chhata और 12वां. These two houses create a lot of problems. And I must tell you that a lecture before brain cancer, I told you a very secret thing, that in brain disorders, you have to check everything in the Bhav Chalit. You have to see these combinations in the Bhav Chalit. See, whenever you are doing medical astrology and you are talking about any issues of the brain, right? You cannot ignore Bhav Chalit. I gave you a very detailed lecture and showed you examples, many examples that how Bhav Chalit is giving you these results. Next point. If Mercury and Rahu are in the Lagna, again aspected by the sixth lord. Aspected by the sixth lord. So you are almost in the 38th lecture of medical astrology, and you know Mercury is Karaka of what? You know Rahu is Karaka of what? You know now. We've taken detailed lectures on this. Number 6. Venus and Rahu. Venus and Rahu conjunct in the 7th house, aspected by the current Mars, or the king of diseases Saturn, or the lord of the 6th house. So any of their Mahadashas and Antardashas and Pratyantar Dashas which are in combination to create this yoga will initiate epilepsy. So we need to be very careful in Venus Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha, Rahu Mahadasha, Rahu Antardasha, Mars transit over Venus and Rahu, Saturn, and the Lord of 6th house Mahadasha Antardasha. Whichever planets, 2 or 3 planets are causing the combination. For example, Venus and Rahu sitting in the 7th house, aspected by the 6th Lord. 6th Lord is Mercury. So 3 planets are making this combination. So these 3 planets in their Mahadasha, Antardasha, you can expect the seizures, the epilepsy to go higher. Okay, whichever planets are making these combinations. So there are certain other combinations in classics like Sarvarth Chintamani. There are many other books where you get even in Brihat Jataka, okay, Garg Samhita. There are certain combinations given in these books and classics as well. So I'll share those classics and combinations to you. You'll find many people there as well. So Sarvarth Chintamani says that a very, very weak moon, like moon in 0 degrees or afflicted moon with Rahu and Saturn in the 8th house, if they are sitting together in the 8th house, can cause it. And if you have Mars transit over it, Mangal इनके ऊपर गोचर कर रहा है, this will become very severe. So what do you have in the 8th house? Moon, Rahu and Saturn. And transit of Mars, or even if there is no transit of Mars, if you have this combination, Chandra Mahadasha, Rahu Mahadasha or Saturn Mahadasha can trigger it. If it is happening in the Saturn Mahadasha, you may get without seizures epilepsy. Dr. Divasiri was saying long term, 20, 19 years, long time. Okay. Next, Sun, Moon, and Mars. So Sun, Moon, Mars, they all three are in the Lagna. Aspected by 6th, 8th or 12th Lord. So this is written in Shambhu Hora Prakasha. Shambhu Hora Prakasha. This is the reference from Shambhu Hora. Number 9. When you have Moon plus Venus in the Kendra. Kendra means in 1, 4, 7 or the 10th house. And you have 2 or more malefics in 5th and the 8th house. जैसे मंगल शनि 5th में आ गया and Shukra Chandra is in the Kendra. Or you have Shani Rahu in the 8th, Mangal Ketu in the 8th, right? So if you have malefics both in the 5th and the 8th, and you have Moon and Venus in the Kendra, trust me, patient will suffer. Yam Yoga in 6th and 8th house, either in the 6th house or in the 8th house, aspected by Rahu. Jupiter in Kendra and malefics in all 6, 8 and 12 houses. 6, it is not all, and 8 and 12, मतलब तीनों में malefics है और जुपिटर केंद्र में है. All the malefics in the 8th house, सारे malefics in the 8th house, and Moon and Venus in the Kendra. In Kendra. These are the 12 astrological combinations, the most prominent one. I'm not saying the one, but the most prominent one, okay, that one can have. So, at first place, what are the remedies that you are going to explain to the native? First thing, when you see such charts and combinations, the most important thing is strict, disciplined food timings. The best time for breakfast, I must tell you, is between 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. None of us, we are doing it. We believe in intermittent fasting. We believe that the first meal should be at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, after 6 o'clock in the night. We believe that our first food should be fruits, and then our first meal of a good, meal should be lunch. See, these theories are for the people who are diabetic or people who are, doing certain diets. But the best time for the breakfast is between 7 to 8 a.m. The best time for lunch is 12:30 p.m. 12:30 तक dinner lunch, maximum 1 o'clock, maximum 1:30. I mean 1:30 is very late. It's very late. And the dinner should be over by 6 p.m. under any circumstances. If someone can follow this, and you have these combinations and you've never got a seizure, you will never get it. Your mind will be programmed, the signals will rest, everything will be fine. So if you have a child born with these combinations, you know as an astrologer that, hey, something can be wrong. He's got Mangal, Saturn, Rahu in the Lagna aspected by the 6th Lord. इसको epilepsy हो सकती है. आपको पता है epilepsy को हमारे क्लासिक्स में क्या वर्ड दिया गया है? महारोग. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? महारोग. जितने भी अपस्मरा, and it is maharogam. The word has been used as maharogam. अब वो जो महारोग है, इसका मतलब है कि इसका टेक्निकली इलाज नहीं है, यू हैव टू मैनेज इट. तभी ये महारोग बन गया ना. और फर्स्ट वे यू कैन मैनेज इज विद स्ट्रिक्ट फूड टाइमिंग्स, same day after the day. Okay, not like today you had at 7 o'clock, tomorrow you had at 7:30. Because I said between 7 to 8. Try 7 o'clock. आपको पता है जो आप बीपी की या वैसे तो मेडिसिन नहीं लेनी चाहिए, या आप शुगर की मेडिसिन या एंटीबायोटिक्स जब लेते हैं, the best way of taking, what is the best way of taking antibiotic or a homeopathic medicine or an Ayurvedic medicine is to follow the strict date and time. So like 8 बजे का मतलब 8 बजे ही रोज लीजिए. If you taking, so you said morning, evening, huh? TD. TD is a term that is used twice a day, twice a day. Huh? So if you're using twice a day a medicine, so morning 10 o'clock, evening 8 o'clock. So next day also it should be 10 o'clock in the morning. Strict timings are very, very important. Only using natural fruit sugar. Fruit sugar कौन सी होती है? What is a fruit sugar? मिश्री. मिश्री खाए मिश्री? Not the mishri that you get very polished and very nicely chopped mishri, not that one. There is a mishri in which you have a thread. धागा होता है, बड़ा बड़ा pieces का मिश्री आता है. That's the fruit sugar. Or you can use monk sugar. The latest one. Monk sugar. Monk sugar has 0 glycemic index. Glycemic index is not there only. I'm using monk sugar for my entire family. Monk is the fruit. उसमें से sugar आता है. Even if you're diabetic, you take 2 spoons of monk sugar, put it in your tea, enjoy your sweet tea, your sugar will not rise 1 milligram. Can you believe that? It is expensive. You can order it on Amazon. The monk sugar is best. You can create all the mithais. The desi khand is also good, but it is very difficult to get. People are selling normal khand by telling it is a desi khand, but you see when you use it, the glycemic index is going high. So it has to be a pure fruit sugar. That means it is said that you need to avoid sugar. Stevia is alternate. Monk sugar is much better than stevia, Surina ji. If you try monk fruit sugar, is 1,000 times better than stevia. Try that. Try that. It's no side effects. So that's another thing. Third is you have to avoid overeating habits. You have to tell patient of epilepsy that if you want to manage it, yeah, stevia is bad aftertaste. It leaves a very bad aftertaste, stevia. That's correct. So overeating should not be there. What should not be there? Overeating. So if a patient comes to you, seen these yogas, you need to tell that patient that please do not overeat. Last but not the least, people who are overly dieting, जो बहुत dieting कर रहे हैं, they want to get lean, they have 16-17 hours of this intermittent fasting. See, I'm not against intermittent fasting. If you see the disciplined breakfast, lunch, dinner scheme I've given you, if it is 6 o'clock in the night, the dinner is finished, 7:30 you're doing in the morning, already you have 13 and a half hours of intermittent fasting, or 14 hours of intermittent fasting is there, which is naturally happening. But if you eat at 11 o'clock and then you are waiting for 1 p.m. to happen so that you can eat anything, is a disaster. Is a disaster. That is why these celebs are facing lot of epilepsy and these mental. There are many other diseases that I'm going to teach you with regards to brain. You'll be astonished. And this is coming in the next generations also. These disorders are, moving from one generation to another, to another, to another. I must tell you that. And the kind of products that you are eating nowadays, for an example, these high caffeine drinks like Red Bull and all that you see in the market, they have ability to alter your DNA, RDA, RNA. They are altering it. और अगर आपका एक बार डीएनए आरएनए ऑल्टर हो गया तो आपके बच्चों में डिफेक्ट आएगा. अभी people, I'm getting students with multimedia or electronic or social media dementias. Children. Social media has caused dementia. Mobile has made children autistic. 2 साल तक 3 साल तक बच्चा बिल्कुल ठीक था. 3 साल उसके हाथ में मोबाइल लगा, टीवी लगा, वो सुबह शाम रील्स देख के 6 साल में 7वें साल में ऑटिज्म हो गया बच्चे. From mild autism to the extreme autism. What a pity here. Children are getting attention deficit. All mind problems, Chandra problems. So if you see a child with, even ADHD is attention deficit only. You see, if you have your child with Vish Yoga, Saturn, Chandra, aspected by Rahu, Mangal, he has the potential to reach to autism even after the age of 2 or 3 years. You have to put your child on the ground. उसको नंगे पैरों बिना चप्पल के ग्राउंड में भगाओ उसको. Keep him away. Make a strict diet plan. From sunrise to sunset, the food program should run. After that, no food program. Kitchen should be closed. Just like you carry your lunch, people should also carry their dinner with them in the corporate houses. At 5 o'clock, when people are ordering tea, you take your tea and have your dinner and over. Come back home. Have breakfast, have your lunch and have 2 dabbas with you, have 2 meals with you. The lunch and the dinner both should be there. Don't wait that I'm working in a bank and my job will be over by 8, 8:30, because banks now are 8 to 8. So 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I will reach my office, go home, and then I'll have my dinner. No. Because your wife is also waiting, your husband is also waiting, children are also waiting. No. Skip it. Skip it. Another very, very secret thing that I'm going to tell you is there is only one dry fruit, just one dry fruit that works on the brain. Only one dry fruit, and that dry fruit is almonds. It should be continuously in the diet, and the oil of almonds, known as badam rogan, should be applied on the head on regular basis. And I will take a lecture. There are points, acupuncture points in your feet, in your hand, where you should be rubbing the badam rogan, the oil, the almond oil. And there's one gemstone that work miracles on the nervous system, and that is alexandrite. Alexandrite is two things that I have seen with alexandrite. One, working on the nervous system. Second, the decision making ability. No matter what happens in your life, if you are wearing an alexandrite, your decision making ability will become superb. Decision making ability by alexandrite. Because this is the only gemstone that works very quickly on your nervous system. And it calms down your nervous system. It settles your nervous system. And helps you to take right decisions in life. It is the gemstone that strictly works on three doshas. Three dosha पे काम करने वाला ये only gemstone है. And the next remedy is Rudrakshas. Very, very important. And out of the Rudrakshas, it is the 13-mukhi Rudraksh, 13-mukhi Rudraksh, 1, 3, 13-mukhi, which is very good in terms of epilepsy. For epilepsy patients, 13-mukhi. Very, very good. And the mantra, very, very important mantra that works, or a puja that works, or a stotram that works, is Hanuman Bahuk. Hanuman Bahuk, Bahuk. Any महारोग, कोई भी महारोग है, उसके लिए हनुमान बाहुक is the remedy. And it is said that if you do Ekadash Bahuks 11 times every day for 111 days, it has ability to manage your disease to the next level, which doctors, which medicines cannot. Hanuman Bahuk. There's a homework that I want to give, that which Rishi, on what problem, and who gifted Hanuman Bahuk, and where did he write Hanuman Bahuk? Sitting in a temple, or sitting in a jail, or sitting in problem? This is a project. I want you to write down that story in the group. Yeah, for kids, you can do it. They can listen, put their AirPods and make them listen the Hanuman Bahuk. You do it, keep a water near you, make them drink that water. So, I want you people to put charts in the group. And in the next lecture, there is another kind of epilepsy that I will explain you. And then we'll discuss few charts in the next lecture. But until that time, I want you to digest these combinations, put the charts, let's discuss in the group, and let's find out certain combinations. ठीक है? तो आज इतना ही करेंगे.